Hey guys, it's Wednesday. We know what that means. Today it's patch preview 25.11. We're going to be seeing what they're going to do. There are some shakeups here, so I think that's going to be interesting. I'm just going to go through the whole thing, take a look at what's going on here. So we see Ash. She's going to be able to stack her Q on structures. That's pretty nice for her. Not a huge thing, but quite nice for pushing because she can stack it up and then she's going to be ready to fight too. She usually likes to push and be the aggressor as well, so it's going to be very nice run, not crazy, but pretty good. Diana, this one is pretty insane. She's getting a big buff again. She has been on the slightly weaker side for some time now after they hit her pretty hard with the passive change. It went from 3, I believe, 3x to 2.25. Now it's back to 2.6. We're landing somewhere in the middle. And this is a pretty big buff for her. She's going to be clearing a lot faster again. So that's quite nice for her. Not crazy, but she's gonna be good, I think, especially with all the buffs that's been received through the mage items. She's gonna be pretty happy, and she might be in a really good spot next patch. Rengar, he's getting a lower ultimate cooldown. That is very nice in solo queue because people tend to overextend, die a lot, and yeah, he's gonna be able to do that a little bit more often. Not crazy, but nice little buff for him. Rise. Q increase damage against flux targets. So ranking up his ultimate is now slightly stronger. Oh, it's quite a lot stronger in the beginning. So he's going from 10 to 25% level 1 to 6, and then from level 6 it's going from 40 to 50. So it's an early game buff, which is going to be a lot of pushing, extra pushing power here. His W damage slightly down, but they're buffing his pushing, which is very interesting because he's one of the reasons you do pick him is because he can so easily get prio. Now he's going to be able to fight for that early prio a lot easier. So this is a surprising buff for Rise. I also feel like Rise was already strong. Maybe they gave him some to compensate because he doesn't build a lot of the mage items that has been buffed. Also, it's going to be in a tougher position because a lot of the ranged mages got a lot of buffs through the items, but his items, like Zera's got nerfed, Rod of Ages got nerfed a couple of patches ago, so his items overall didn't get buffed like the other mage items. So in that sense, I can see it. Sliver W total AD ratio going from 40 to 50 instead of 30 to 50. That's a nice buff for early game. You do max your Q too, so you're just gonna have a nice buff until level 13. Then it's back to normal. Pretty good for her. She's going to be extra pushing power. Not a bad buff. I think Saver is already doing pretty fine, so it's pretty good for her. She might be in a good spot next patch. Twisted Fate, Q damage going up. Dude, they keep buffing his damage, and now they're buffing his base damage. That is not good, because that means utility items again, which is really frustrating to play against. Cherelia, Rapid Fire, he can still build those items and do damage. I don't know if this affects when he can do red card, Q the wave to clear everything. If it does, that can be pretty impactful. If not, it's not a huge deal, but it's a nice little buff for him, more clearing. He's doing a lot of damage if you go like full glass can now too, just blue card one-shot build. With the new items getting, or like all the mage items getting buffed, could be pretty crazy. We've got Twitch AP ratio going up. Interesting as well, because of the mage items that are already doing well. They kind of want him to have that viable again, I guess. Not in love with that. I'm not a fan of playing against AP Twitch, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't really know if it's going to be enough to make him good, but might have to look out for that. Udyr 80 bonus damage on attacks. He's getting buffed. What? Okay, so his AP ratio is going up, his damage is going up, and his ultimate rank 5 total damage is going up by quite a lot. So they want R max out instead of the Q, which has been the most popular with Trinity Force, Spirit Soldier, and this kind of thing. So they want to give him back some power through their Liandry's build, I guess, and the AP items. And because Liandry's did get a decent hit, so I guess it's to compensate for this, so that's still a viable build for him. Cho'Gath getting a slight nerf. I still think it's broken. This nerf doesn't really change much at all. He's gonna be losing. Oh my. He's not losing at all. Not even 10 armor at level 18. That's wild. Alright. Alright. He's still gonna be broken. He's doing really well in 3 lanes now. Even support with Senna, especially since Senna got buffed. Or like you're playing ADC, I guess. But yeah, that's interesting. At least AP ratio passive attacks going down slightly. That's good. Those have been doing a lot of damage. Those small little spiders getting a little bit of hit. It's going to impact the cleave speed as well. I think it's about time. I think Elise is still going to be really, really good though. She's just amazing with all the mage items being buffed again. Lucian going his E cooldown going from 14 to 12 to 16 to 12. So that's getting nerfed early game, 2 seconds. Makes a difference because he can. It's usually a lot lower. So if you do your full combo, you auto attack, and this you can have 2 seconds earlier. That's a pretty big deal, actually. In the early game, I don't think it's crazy, but it is a decent nerf because you're limiting the number of passive shots as well, ramping up another E. So it does hit him a bit, not crazy, but some. Smolder HP regen going down, armor going down, so you're gonna make him more squishy. Old Smolder has been really annoying this patch. He's been pretty strong in these games, even though he's not a solo queue champion, so I can imagine in pro play and stuff, he is a bit of a problem. Aatrox passive going way down. Passive damage going from 8 to 12 to 8 to 4 to 8, 4 to 12 to 48, I mean. Q sweet spot damage mod going up. And W being physical now. Damn, that's a nerf. But I guess you will proc Black Cleaver quicker. Because Black Cleaver, all physical damage is going to help you shred. So if you use the W and you get 2 procs on the W, it will get you 2 Black Cleaver stacks. And the sweet spot modification going up is quite nice. I like that because if you're good, you get rewarded more. You can't just auto attack people to death with your passive and Sun Sky crit. So I think this makes absolute sense to nerf him late game through the passive because he's doing so much damage with it. I think this is a good nerf. Annie, she's been OP, and she's only getting adjusted. So I know Vi got adjusted too though, so maybe it's a big nerf, we'll see. Armor going up in the early game, slightly down in the late game, or decently down in the late game. W damage going down, they're up in the AP ratio still though. No, okay, so the W damage is going down overall. Nerfing it by 20 late game and also 0.5% AP ratio. Still think she's really good. She's they're giving her a little bit more power or tankier late game to allow her to build full AP, I guess. But yeah, a little bit of a damage nerf would make sense. She's been one-shotting everything. Garen, there's a whole lot of text here. Let's see. So E cooldown going from 9 to 9 to 6. E damage also going up. Huh? Hang because they're taking away the 0 to 8.2 something. And then the crit mod is going a little bit down. Not a whole lot. E cooldown going down a lot. E damage reduction being slightly weaker early game, but a way stronger late game. Capstone total armor removed. Okay. R damage going down a decent amount actually. 50 rank 1, rank 11, and 100 damage level 16. So he does get a decent nerf, but nothing crazy. So I guess they want to nerf the full damage crit Garen, which makes sense, and it's still keeping him super tanky. So they want to make him less overall tanky now, so his resistances is going gone. Like his farming resistances throughout the game, so his total tankiness is going down, but he can use his W more, and you need to use your W smart, and that way you're going to be very tanky. But when you don't have his W ops, it's way more important now to play around his W properly, because his damage reduction is crazy, especially late game now with the W. But if you catch him without his W, you're going to be doing way more damage than on the last patch. So I think that's nice. It makes it more skill, so it's not super tanky all the time, building full damage. And now he has to be a little bit smart with the W and stuff. So I think that makes sense. The E cooldown is very interesting. I think the crit wise, the crit Garen is still going to be really good though. And his AD total is going up. So they wanted to build more AD, less attack speed and crit, I guess. Build the 80 items. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's probably going to be pretty good. That W is looking broken. 40 with not 1%. Well, we'll see. And the cooldown going way down from 15 to 12. That's a big deal, because if you get some cooldown reduction too, especially with the AD bruiser items, that gives him more AD and less crit and attack speed, could be pretty strong. Kassadin armor going up early game. That is quite nice for him, playing into Talon, Sad, these kind of all-in champions, AD carries in the mid lane. There's E damage going up, base damage. Our AP ratio going per stack to 10% up to... Okay, so they're nerfing his ultimate damage and making him more playable early game. To make him less extreme, I guess, late game in his AP ratios damage. So his ult late game going down in damage by quite a lot. I feel like this is a nerf for him though. It's a pretty big nerf. It's not a big damage reduction, and he's getting slightly more tanky early game and a little bit more pushing power with his E. But I feel like overall this is a pretty decent nerf actually. So interesting. Samira Q lifesteal effectiveness going up to 80%. Our lifesteal effect went from 50 to 80%. So they wanted to build lifesteal again. Interesting. And total AD ratio on W going down. That does matter. So Bloodthirster is going to be crazy on her though. She's going to be healing so much again. Very interesting. That's a huge buff when it comes to healing for her. You're probably going to be running, I mean, you're still running Bloodline, so with Bloodline, Bloodthirster, you're going to be healing a lot now with your ultimate and Qs. And it's going to really help with the sustain. That's going to be a pretty big deal for her, especially with AP mages, poke mages coming, for her to be able to heal up in the mid to late game. It's going to be very important, so that's going to be very interesting to see. I think she's going to be quite strong, actually. And then we got Horizon Focused buff again by 100 gold and 5 AP. That's a lot of AP for not a whole lot of gold. And 15 haste. I think this item is going to be crazy good on the poke mages, actually. You get so much damage. It's crazy. So, very interesting. I think Xerath is probably busted. I think Annie is still really strong. Twist of Fate probably going to be quite strong. Diana is going to be super interesting to look out for. No void changes in this one. All right. She's sitting on 47% win rate. Get off your asses. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the rundown. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.